Thanks for tuning in to Quillbilly Garage. This is the day we have been waiting for. We're going to try and fire up this 1971 Ford F250 pickup. My son's got the 390 engine installed. Everything is hooked up as far as we know. He did a lot of work making it look good and replacing things that ought to be replaced. Clutch, ignition parts, hoses, belts, things like that. He had to build the throttle linkage. This truck originally had a 2-barrel that required linkage that pushed forward, and this 4-barrel carburetor that's on it now requires linkage that pulls it back. So he looked up online how to deal with that and went to the hardware store and bought the necessary parts and did a really nice job putting it together. Again, this is a 390. This truck originally had a 390. Now it's got a Holley 4-barrel carburetor. That is a stock air cleaner off about a 77 Ford pickup. I can't remember for sure. This one has a manual choke. And so my son got creative and mounted the choke cable where you'd have an old, like on a big truck, where you'd have the 2-speed rear end switch right there on the gear shift. So all ready to go. Fluids are in it. A little fresh ethanol-free gas in the tank. And we're going to give it a shot. Okay, give it a shot. Stop. You got smoke coming from your battery connection. We're taking a few minutes here to clean up the battery terminals and make sure everything is tight with the electrical. Okay, we're ready to give it another shot here. Go ahead.
Keep the choke on.
Yep. Okay, we need to look into that. We have jumped forward in time since the beginning of this video. So we were not able to get the engine to turn over, which was puzzling to us because we have had this engine running on the ground. One of my previous videos shows that. But once we got the engine in the truck, it was as if it had been seized. And so we ran down the ideas of what could have caused that. There was quite a long time, maybe a couple of years, between when we started it on the ground and when we had it installed in the truck. And during that 2 years, the engine, it was stored outside, but well covered up, well sealed up. However, again, one of the things that crossed our mind is, did we do something to cause it to seize up? Maybe when we pressure washed it and cleaned it, did water get inside and rust up? So what my son did, he pulled all the spark plugs out, blew air into the cylinders to see if any moisture came out, indicating that we had gotten water in it. And there apparently wasn't any, but he took it a step further and put some oil in each of the cylinders and let it sit. Went back out next day or two and see if the engine would budge, and it wouldn't. And so our next thought, well, we also checked to see if maybe the starter was somehow jammed up in the gear, and that was not the case. So we remembered that this engine had previously been installed in a big truck. It was like an F600. Had a much bigger flywheel, much bigger clutch. So we thought, well, maybe we use the flywheel bolts from the thick flywheel when we put the pickup's flywheel back on this engine. There was no way to really confirm. There weren't enough access panels that you could take out to confirm to see if we had put flywheel bolts that were too long. All you could do was pull the engine back out. Well, in the meantime, we were moving, and so while we really wanted to get the truck running and drive it to the new place, we had to haul it. So here we are at the new place. Nice little covered area to work on the truck. And my son pulled the engine out. And sure enough, that's what it was. The flywheel bolts were too long. So he had it back together pretty quick. Here it is installed, ready to see if we can get it started. He did a few more things than before. He replaced anywhere there was a rubber fuel line, he replaced that, and he replaced the rubber hose for the fuel filler neck for the tank that's behind the seat. Last night we were out here checking for spark at the points. It's got spark, and now we are going to pour a little gas down the carburetor and see if we can get it to fire up. All right, we got fuel down the carburetor. Give it a shot. You pulled the choke. Okay, give it a shot. I think we're going to maybe file the points and see if that gives us a little more reliable spark. Well, it's getting dark in the shop here. We're having trouble with getting spark, so we tried a couple of coils that we had laying around that might not have been any better than what we had on it. Anyway, ultimately, we bought a new coil and we filed the points, and I've got this little inline spark tester hooked up, and we do seem to have spark now, so we are going to give it another shot. Okay, choke on and give it a shot. Open the choke just a little bit. I'll pour some more gas in, I think. Go ahead and choke it again. I don't know.
Does that sound like it?
It's another day. We've got the new coil installed properly. We had taken loose the fuel line, used our handy suction pump to pull fuel all the way through from the gas tank. We made sure to put fresh ethanol-free gas in the tank. It does have 2 tanks, and we think we've got the selector switch on the correct one. And so now we are going to give it a shot. Go ahead and choke it. And carry it. Okay, good. I think we'll pour a little gas in it. All right, give it a shot. All right, probably just ran off the fuel that was in the carburetor. We'll give it a little more, see if it just needs some time to fill the float bowls. Okay, go ahead. See your solenoid smoking over there. Well, we have been working on this on and off all day. We were struggling trying to figure out why we weren't getting fuel to the carburetor. Through process of elimination, we figured out that we had a good no blockage flow through a new hose from the tank to the fuel tank selector valve to the inlet of the fuel pump. It's a new tube, the steel tube that my son custom bent to go from the fuel pump up to the carburetor, but we were not getting any fuel to the carburetor. We could get it to the pump, but not to the carburetor. So luckily the parts store had a fuel pump in stock, and that is now on. And the system has been primed. We primed it we unhooked the fuel line, put a plastic bottle on it, and then hooked up a boat gas can to the carburetor and ran it for a few seconds to get the pump primed. So now we're going to go ahead and, now that it's all together, start it up. Okay, we've got the air cleaner on, everything buttoned up, and we're ready to go. Sounds good. Thank you for watching Quillbilly Garage. We've got this 71 Ford truck running. It sounds pretty good. No leaks that we can see. Of course, it is dark out here. And hopefully we'll follow up with another video of getting this back together and out on the road. Thanks for tuning in.